Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive new rulebook that's about to change everything for thousands of companies. It's called the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, or CSRD for short, and it's rewriting the rules on how businesses report their impact on the world.
All right, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the problem this is all trying to solve, greenwashing. Then, we'll get into the new rulebook itself, see what's actually different, figure out how it builds credibility, and finally wrap it all up with why this is such a big deal for all of us.
So let's kick things off with a question you've probably asked yourself whether you're investing your money or just shopping at the grocery store. I mean, when a company slaps a green label on something, how do you really know it's legit? How can you be sure that the businesses you support are actually making a positive difference and not just, saying all the right things?
And this gets to the heart of a huge problem called greenwashing. It's what happens when those sustainability claims just aren't backed up by facts. But this isn't just about fooling you at the checkout, it actually messes with the entire financial system. This lack of good, solid information creates what the directive calls an information gap. And if you read the thinking behind the law, they're basically saying, look, without trustworthy data, the whole system just breaks. Investors can't figure out the real risks, money doesn't go where it's needed, companies aren't held accountable, and it can even become a threat to the stability of the whole economy.
And that information gap? That's exactly what the European Union is aiming to fix with this massive new piece of legislation. It's all about replacing the confusion with some much-needed clarity.
And let's be clear, this isn't just another boring piece of paperwork. The directive itself says it's a core part of the European Green Deal. You know, that giant plan to completely rewire the EU's economy for a sustainable future? Yep, the CSRD is a key piece of that puzzle. So think of it this way. The CSRD is trying to create a common language for sustainability. The big idea is to make a company's report on its environmental and social impact just as serious, just as rigorous, and just as reliable as its financial numbers.
And wow, what a shift it is. We're moving from this old world of non-financial reporting, which was often voluntary, kinda all over the place, and rarely checked, to a brand new world of sustainability reporting that is mandatory, standardized across the EU, and, this is key, audited. It's a whole new ballgame.
So, what's actually changing on the ground? Let's dig into the core pillars that really make the CSRD a game changer. First off, just look at the sheer number of companies this affects. The old rules? They covered maybe 11,000 companies. The CSRD? It blows that out of the water, pulling in an estimated 50,000 companies. We're talking basically every large company in the EU is now part of this system.
Okay, now we get to a really crucial concept at the heart of all this: double materiality. It's no longer enough for a company to just think about how, say, climate change might hurt its bottom line. Now, they also have to report on how their own business is impacting the climate, people, and the planet. It's a two-way street, no exceptions.
And this illustrates it perfectly. You've got two sides of the same coin. On one side, there's the outside-in view. How is the world affecting the company's finances? But on the other, you have the inside-out view. How is the company affecting the world? Under the CSRD, you absolutely have to report on both.
And the level of detail required is way, way deeper now. Companies have to get specific about things like, is their business model actually resilient to sustainability risks? What are their concrete time-bound targets for cutting emissions? Who on the board is responsible for this stuff? And do they even have the expertise? It goes way beyond just planting a few trees.
Okay, so companies are going to be reporting all this new information. But that leads to the million-dollar question, right? How do we know it's not just a more detailed, more sophisticated form of greenwashing?
Well, the answer comes down to one powerful word: auditing. For the first time, this information has to be independently checked and verified. And this might be the single biggest step toward putting sustainability data on the exact same footing as financial data.
Now, the directive doesn't just flip a switch overnight. It lays out a clear path. It starts with what's called limited assurance. Think of it as a basic checkup to see if anything looks obviously wrong. But the goal, by 2028 at the latest, is to move to reasonable assurance. And that's the gold standard. It's the same level of scrutiny a financial audit gets, giving everyone way more confidence that the numbers are solid.
So we've got new standards, this whole idea of double materiality, mandatory audits. But what does it all add up to? In the real world, why does any of this matter?
Well, pretty much everyone benefits from better data. Investors and savers like you and me can finally make choices based on real information. Activists and communities can hold companies truly accountable. And honestly, even the companies themselves win by getting a better handle on their risks. It just creates a much healthier, more transparent system for everybody.
And really, this brings us to the ultimate goal, the whole reason this law exists. It's stated right in the text. The point is to reorient capital flows. In plain English, to use transparency to shift huge amounts of money, billions, even trillions, away from things that harm the planet and society and toward investments that build a sustainable, inclusive future.
By forcing companies to move from vague marketing claims to hard, audited facts, the CSRD is trying to build an economy where sustainability isn't just a nice-to-have buzzword, it's a core, measurable part of a company's value. Which leaves us with a final, really big question. What's going to happen when we can finally, truly see and compare the real-world impact of every major company out there?